Hello, everybody. My name is Mr. Dupa. That right there is Drunk Dave Romero.
Yeah, it's me again.
And the other guy is Adam Obeses Rodriguez.
Hello.
Tonight's brew is the Delirium Noctornum Belgian Ale. It's a family brewery. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Since 1654.
It's an old family.
Yep. It's 8.5 ABV. It looks good. Let's have a good time. This is the One Beer and Podcast. Plastic clink.
Clink.
Lost to be found by someone to save you when you're down. Yes, I'm bored when it's bright out. So bored when it's bright out. 4 to 5 a.m. takes me to a place where I fit in.
I know, Adam, you're a big fan. That's why I kind of shined.
Yeah.
I'm walking by and I said, I'm gonna grab that. I wanted to grab a pint, but I didn't know which one. So
Can't go wrong with Delirium.
yeah, made the choice pretty easy.
Yeah.
They had the what looked like a Christmas one.
Noel.
The Noel one.
Yeah, Noel. That was there.
I
I
wonder
wasn't
why-
sure which one was better.
I wonder why it's still out, though. That's out of season.
It's always on the shelf.
Ugh. I guess they leave it the entire time if nobody buys it.
Okay,
Then maybe it's good that I didn't touch it then.
It's covered in dust.
Well, a lot of the beers at the one that's right up the street, the one that's right
Pat's.
here, Pat's. A lot of the shit in there is fucking dusty and
Well, yeah, nobody goes for the craft stuff. Everybody goes straight for like the skulls and
Yeah.
natty
Oh,
ice.
yeah.
But it's
College
dusty.
Town.
But then there's like one or two will be missing from each 6-pack or 4-pack.
Because they have the choose your own 6-pack.
Yeah.
Everybody does that.
Well, I mean, like try to replace it or something. Like, what if I wanted all of them? Then I'm gonna have a 3.
Yeah.
Bullshit. Anyway, let's get to this beer review. Obviously, we've all had it before.
Yeah.
4.
What?
4, as in 4 out of 6.
Oh. You just said a word.
This is the One Beer and Podcast,
Why
right?
are
I'm
you
in the
getting
right
so
spot
fucking close?
because I'm a soft-spoken person.
Yeah, that's true.
I thought this wouldn't break the levels. Yesterday, Adam's like, he's like this. I'm about a foot away from the microphone. And I was like, no, you're not. You're fucking far as out from the mic.
I wear glasses for a reason. Anyway,
Yeah.
to review the Delirium Nocturne.
The answer was 4.
Is this thing on?
I'm also going 4.
I'm going 5. I enjoyed Delirium. I think the Tremens is better because that's like my favorite beer of all
Superior.
time. But yeah, this one's still definitely good.
Yep.
If you see it, it's going to be a little expensive, but it's definitely worth it if you're going for something a little fancy.
Yep.
Yeah, if it's a holiday or your birthday,
Oh yeah.
go treat yourself.
Yeah. Treat yourself. Welcome to the One Beer and Podcast, episode 24.
Mhm.
You're on it. Yeah, so I think maybe we should just jump right in, like we always do.
Anyway, so within video game news, recently people have been in a tizzy because apparently the new Tomb Raider's been announced at Gamescom over in, what was it, Germany. So people are upset because obviously Tomb Raider's been a multi-platform gaming video game, I should say, for a long time, and before that it was not a PlayStation exclusive, but it was known as a PlayStation like staple. You know, you think
That's where it got its start from, yeah.
yeah, but I mean it was on PC before, and it was on Sega earlier. I think even earlier than it was on PlayStation, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But most people find it iconic for the PlayStation brand. So obviously a lot of people were upset that it was announced that it's only going to be on Xbox and Xbox One and 360 for the, what's it called?
It's going to be on the Xbox One, and the 360?
Yeah, all three of those.
You mean the one that the dead one?
We're gonna go back in time about 10 years.
Also on the Nintendo 64.
They're gonna make a cartridge special for it. No, it's gonna be on the Xbox One, the Xbox 360. People are upset about it though. I want to hear you guys' take on that, and if you think that's a good thing for the industry as a whole. Why do you think they're doing this? Do you think they're
exclusivity period?
Well, here's the thing. I was going to get into this after I got your opinion on it, but a lot of people are getting upset for no reason because it's clearly going to be only a timed exclusive.
Right.
I don't know why people don't understand this yet.
But what's the point of it, though? What's the point of a timed exclusive? Like, if I can get the game on a 360 and it's coming out on the PS4, why? Why bother having it timed? Just so people with Xbox can be like, well, I got it first.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. They're contractually not allowed to say that it's a timed exclusive. You know, we've seen this happen before with other games where it's clearly a timed exclusive. Even something like Titanfall, where they're not allowed to say that Titanfall 2 will be multi-platform, but everybody assumes that it will, and it's pretty clear that that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we've seen this time and time again, and I don't understand why people are still so upset when these companies announce things like this, because it's clearly going to just be a timed thing. They may get it for 6 months or maybe up to a year, and then it's going to go everywhere.
But
and
I think most people, like, there's, you know, if the question you ask, why do people get upset because they know they're going to get it eventually, is like, you know, then you have to ask, like, why do people go to these midnight releases? What's the point of these? Because, I mean, that's the point, is to have it first.
right.
And that's why people are upset. I mean, I understand why people are upset. If you want something first day, you don't want to wait 2 months, 3 months, 6 months to a year after the game's already been out on one console. Like, me personally, I don't care. I will wait 6
Right.
months. I'll wait a year for a game. I don't really care.
This started, the first occurrence of timed exclusives was with DLC for Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or was it Battlefield? One of those.
No, Call of Duty would go to Xbox first.
Yeah, and Xbox would get it first, and then, a couple months later...
I think they still have that deal.
And it's stupid. Like, what's the point of it?
It gives people who are loyal Xbox gamers the superiority complex. That's what it does. It gives each console, each person who is loyal to that console, that superiority complex.
It's sad because it's just companies exploiting,
Yep.
stupid loyalty. It doesn't matter because
Yep.
they're both going to play the same game.
That's war.
Exactly what it is. These companies know, Microsoft knows that if it pays for this timed exclusivity, that people are going to run to the stores just to say, I got it first. You can't have it because only I get it. That's all it's. Yeah, and that's all it's about.
Yeah.
They know that.
It's a purchase benefit if you have an Xbox One, that you get this game for a while.
I mean, I was, before I got my PlayStation, I was leaning towards getting the Xbox just to have Titanfall.
Mm-hmm.
But like you just said, I mean, we know eventually it's going to go multi-platform, and at least the sequel will be.
Right.
We know for sure that's going to be multi-platform. So, wait 2 years while the game is in development, and then have it on my PlayStation.
Yeah.
Not a big deal.
I mean, generally nowadays, if you wait long enough, they're just going to release an Ultimate Edition that you can get.
Yeah.
Like Diablo's now on PS4 and Xbox One with their Definitive Edition.
Yeah, well, that's only because of a new generation.
Yeah, that's a bad example, but just an example of them doing a definitive Ultimate Edition.
Right.
But No Man's Sky is the game I was thinking about, where it's going to be PlayStation 4 and PC exclusive. And then there's just talks of it coming out later.
Right.
So for right now, it's PC, PS4 exclusive, but it's probably gonna come out on the Xbox One as well.
Right. A game we've been playing recently, Shovel Knight, is the same thing for Wii U, exclusive to that and PC, but the developer themselves have been saying that they want to get it multi-platform.
Yeah, well, that's different because it's an indie game, and the people who made it have to have that license to put it on.
Yeah.
Xbox and PlayStation 4.
Right. And so the thing that people have been bringing up most about this whole deal of getting this exclusivity is that it's basically these companies throwing money at these developers that, the first Tomb Raider, even though it sold really well, apparently undersold to their standards. So
Yeah, I read that.
in order to get, I guess, the funds to maybe advertise it or even complete the game maybe, I'm sure Xbox came by with giant bags of cash and said, "Here you go."
Yeah, just like they did with Titanfall.
Exactly. So,
I mean, it you know, as far as like if I worked for Microsoft, you know, the advantage of having a game exclusive to my console. I mean, back in the day, it was cool. Like if you had an Xbox, only you could play Halo.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you had a PlayStation, only you could play Uncharted.
Right.
Back in the day, it was cool, but nowadays it just I don't really see the point. I mean, for companies, I see the point. Obviously, they get people running to stores to buy it just to say they have it. But you know, as far as from a consumer standpoint, it just I don't care if Xbox has the same game that I have. You know, it doesn't fucking matter as long as I get to play it. I don't fucking care.
Yeah, right.
I just don't get why people.
So in that sense, do you think the company that isn't getting it first is just kind of like whatever with their supporters?
That's a good question. Like, are they concerned that people who...
Because if Xbox threw bags of money at Titanfall, did PS4 see Titanfall and was just like, oh yeah, whatever, man, do your thing?
Right.
Or were they like, let's get in on that too, bro?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, maybe they trust in the loyalty of their fan base, and they said, you know what, we're gonna wait until it doesn't fucking matter, and then we'll put a little bit of money into it. I don't know. That's a good question.
I'm sure there are equations in the background,
especially with it being a new IP, like a new brand of game. Like you think they could have just like waited it out and be like, let's get in on the sequel if there is one.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll let Microsoft take the risk this first time.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's a big risk because it's an original IP. You know, if they were talking about having exclusivity for something that's well known like Call of Duty, there's no risk there. You know, like we know it's going to sell. Period. And I mean, there was a little bit of risk that they did with Destiny recently, because that's a new IP, but it's done by Bungie, which has a great track record for people, and that holds a lot of weight. And even that's only a timed exclusive. You know, they're getting it a little bit later on Xbox, so
in your face.
But I mean, I just don't know. Yeah, suck it, Xbox.
Hypocrisy. Woo.
But yeah, I just don't really know if it's a good thing for the gaming industry in general, because I feel like it's making more fanboys. First of all,
right,
and it's making it so that it's just a buy whatever company you like type of situation.
That whole community of gamer has to die. Like they gotta go.
Fanboy, like just the diehard console fanboy for some reason.
I can't fucking stand.
Do you think they just don't have a favorite game? They just have a favorite console.
I don't understand how you could have one favorite console. You know,
they play the same shit.
Right. I just don't like. I mean, I get that there are advantages to both or either. Like, you know, people who play the PC, they, obviously, as far as graphically, how powerful it is, things like that. But I just don't understand, like, the anger and the fervor and the passion for one console.
Anything you spend enough money on becomes a personal endeavor. So,
but I mean, I've had, my brother had the Super Nintendo, I had the Genesis, then Dreamcast, then PlayStation, then Xbox, then PlayStation again. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. Yeah. The only thing that mattered was the fact that I couldn't play Uncharted when I had my Xbox, and that pisses me off. Yeah. The game shouldn't be exclusive to consoles. It is. It's taking a hit. The gaming industry is taking a hit with this exclusivity as far as the culture. Now, each console or the companies that make the consoles are probably making a lot of money in that time frame.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So it's never going to stop because they make a lot of money there. But as far as as culturally, I don't think it's good for gaming.
Right. And on the flip side of this, a lot of people brought up the good point that when you think about it as a whole, Tomb Raider didn't sell what they wanted it to the first time around. Why would they make it exclusive for one console? And that seems counterintuitive, right? When you think about it, let's get it to everybody we can, right? Get as many sales as we can. But somebody brought up the good point that if they spent less money making it themselves out of pocket, they're making more money per sale. Mm-hmm. So it kind of evens out a bit in that way. And if it's only a timed exclusive, they're going to make money hand over fist when they actually release it to everybody else too.
Yeah. If anybody remembers.
Yeah. If it was good enough. But here's the hook. A lot of people that played Tomb Raider 1 are going to want to play that Tomb Raider 2.
Yeah, I mean, Tomb Raider 1 was cool.
It's great. It was awesome. It was a cool game.
It was critically acclaimed.
Yeah.
Didn't get a bad review.
And again, it did really well. It just... I think that Square Enix didn't have the right expectations.
I think that's what it was. They just... Because they tried to reboot Tomb Raider once before. and it sucked.
Did they?
Yes, that's how bad it was. You don't even remember. But yeah, they tried to bring it back, like with I think it was like Tomb Raider Master or something, or Laura. I think they called it Laura Croft for half a second, or some shit like that.
Not the top-down shooter that we like to play.
No, not that. It was something else that came out on PS3 or Xbox 360, but really early on in its years.
Yeah.
But yeah, they tried rebooting it again, like because they stopped after like Tomb Raider 3 or some shit like that. But yeah, they tried it again, and then there was this long silence, and then they went, "Okay, let's try it again."
Yeah.
I don't see why. I don't see why their expectations were so high for Tomb Raider. I mean, it's a famous game,
Right. It has a legacy to it.
It does, but I don't see why they would expect so much from it. I played it, I enjoyed it. It's a good game, but like as far as like, did they really think like Tomb Raider was going to be a game changer?
I don't know.
I don't understand what made them think that Tomb Raider was going to be the game.
Well, here's the thing.
Like if they did like an HD remake of Final Fantasy and it didn't sell the way that they thought it would, that makes sense.
Right.
But Tomb Raider, I mean, it's one of those games where it's like, I mean, it's always been there. It's there's always a Tomb Raider game out, but I just like, it's like Mortal Kombat. You know, when they brought back Mortal Kombat for Mortal Kombat 9, and it was like a killer game, just awesome. But I mean, should they expect to be blowing the doors off of GameStops and you know what I'm saying, like games like that?
I think even Mortal Kombat had a bigger following than Tomb Raider did by the time that it came back.
Yeah,
like people were waiting for that. Nobody was really waiting for Tomb Raider.
That's what I'm saying.
We
it's
had
like
Uncharted in that time, like that
we
replaced
know
it.
about Tomb Raider, but I didn't see anybody clamoring for a new Tomb Raider game.
That may explain why Tomb Raider's on 360 now.
Because
now they have Uncharted.
Because they don't fucking need Tomb Raider.
Exactly. We got our own little dungeon crawler over here.
We got
our own Tomb Raiders.
True.
Nathan Drake.
Boom.
Very true.
Fuck you, Laura Croft.
Beat Laura at her own game.
As far as I'm concerned, I wanted a male protagonist since I heard about Tomb Raider. So yeah, I'm sexist like that. I don't care.
Damn it, Marco.
I'm serious. As far as gaming goes,
It's gonna bleep it.
No, I'm saying so you can edit this out.
I know.
no, I want this in there.
You want your sexism in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Look, I'm not
give a demo in
fucking.
there.
Look, I'm not saying. No, I am saying that I'm sexist when it comes to like
You identify more with the male protagonist.
I don't want to, as a male, play as a female in a game. Like Laura Croft is a strong female protagonist, and she's an awesome character as a whole. But as far as because I think maybe it's because when I play video games, especially story-driven open world games, I live vicariously through that character, and it's a little harder to like kind of suspend my disbelief when it's a female character. So I like to have male characters as the protagonist. I'm not ashamed of that.
There's a fat joke that I'm biting my tongue for.
Go ahead.
Or you don't like looking down and seeing tits? You're
Yeah.
not used to that?
Get on a treadmill.
It's not bad. So yeah, that's how I feel. I'm not ashamed of it.
All right. I mean, I see what you're saying, but as far as
we need feminism because of men like you.
yeah, exactly. I have no problem playing as a female protagonist. I think it's interesting. Because,
So you didn't like Metroid?
I didn't play Metroid that much.
Well, the thing with Metroid is you don't realize it's a girl until the end. Spoiler alert for like
you
a
don't like
20-year-old
Zelda?
game.
Fucking with me?
Yeah, you play as a Princess Link
Of
in
course.
Zelda.
Of course. But anyway, something else that slapped people in the face was the actual announcement of what the Tomb Raider creator said, which was basically, we understand that we have a following on all these consoles. We look forward to making the best Tomb Raider game we possibly can with Xbox. Now, it's not to say that we're going to abandon everybody else, because we can actually give you guys something in the definitive edition that's available right now of the first one on PS4. And also the top-down video game, the sequel of the one that we play, Lara Croft Adventures of Whatever.
You didn't say the one that we play. You're jumping out of your quote, saying the one that we play.
Oh, yeah, okay. The one that, jumping out, the one that David and I play, and actually really love. But to me, that is a major just slap in the face to everybody else, saying that these other things are available to you, including a definitive edition that you can buy of the game that you probably bought already. And it doesn't even matter if you buy this definitive edition because you're not going to see the rest of that story. So good luck. Enjoy yourself.
Adam, why are you so mad?
It's upsetting.
It's kind of like when the former CEO of Xbox was like, "Hey, what about people who are deployed? Well, they got 360s.
Right.
Fuck them."
Yeah,
Basically.
pretty much.
It's kind of like the same thing. It's like, hey, I know you want this thing, but you can't have it.
Sorry.
So have the old thing. Because it's there for you, right? Don't complain. We gave you the old thing.
Yeah.
Deal
By
with
the way, thanks.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't my Jimmies were not rustled that much.
My Russells
were not.
Russell Jim.
Apparently, they were. But the Jimmies were not rustled because I knew that it's gonna be on multi-platform eventually. Like, I'm not that dumb. I know that they're gonna eventually do that, so I'm not that upset at that. But the fact that he talked down to the people that were fans of the games before,
Yeah.
especially on a game that was predominantly on PlayStation.
He should have been like, you could buy the definitive edition and also on multi-platform. Your mother, who I also play all the time.
Drops the mic.
Yep, walks off stage.
Just scattered clapping.
Yeah. One Xbox guy. Woo!
Okay.
Anyway, yeah. So, interesting. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.